is the story of a trophy for the world. A journey. A dream.
Hello, viewers out there. Thank God it's Friday and you're welcome to Sports Orbit, reaching from Leadership TV. My name is Afacho, and we shall continue our coverage of the World Cup. Today, we shall be looking at Group G and H, and to do that, Salifu Usman is right here with me in studio. Salifu, welcome to this wonderful episode of Sports Orbit, our coverage of the World Cup.
Thank you, Afas, for this.
Right. Well, in the course of the program, our colleague Wale Ayeni should be joining us. When he does that, we will definitely link up with him. But first, before we even go into our main preview of the day, let's take a look back at some of the action that went down yesterday for Morocco. I mean, beautiful performance from Morocco, and it was interesting to see that an African team made it top of the group, qualified as group leaders. The last time that happened was the Super Eagles of Nigeria in our first World Cup appearance, where we're in a group that was supposed to be a difficult group, but Nigeria came out top of that group, and Morocco has been able to equal that record. Good performance coming from Morocco.
Yeah, I was so happy yesterday for Morocco, and not just for Morocco, for Africans.
Yeah.
Morocco has really proved, and particularly when the group was first made, nobody would have anticipated that Morocco will even qualify from that group. If you have to put your money, a lot of people that have put their money betting on the Belgium and Senegal, Belgium and Croatia, definitely have that group easy to progress to the next round. But as God will have it, Morocco they have a different thought yesterday, and really prove. And if you look at Morocco from the start of this competition, Morocco have really done Africa proud. In their first match after the surprise shock of the Saudi Arabia victory over Argentina, the Morocco come at the end that they have been motivated by the Saudi Arabia that they want to pull up to hold the Croatia, which they do. They hold the Croatia as the draw, and then the next match surprisingly beat Belgium. So Belgium edges from the World Cup. Morocco accounted for it. Morocco actually knocked Belgium out of that competition. And in the last match yesterday, yes, they have the game in their control. Although even though when the Canada tried to come back at the last minute, tried to scale, but they hold on and then maintaining their lead and finishing the group 7 points ahead of Croatia, ahead of Belgium. It is a fantastic performance for Morocco, and I believe that now they have in the second round, and they're going to have a playing against definitely in the second round. I hope they'll be able to do something fantastical well in the second round.
Very well, and also
because in the second round they're going to play against Spain.
And
that would be that is going to be a very tough one, forgetting what Spain have done in the group stage.
Very well. And if you look at the other game, Belgium coming against Morocco, like we had spoke about it here. Belgium, Croatia, we spoke about it in our preview, and unfortunately for Belgium, heartbreaking moment for Belgium, in spite of the array of stars that team parade, simply couldn't make it to the next one. And like you said, their problem is all Morocco. Morocco is because of their problem. Because that defeat, and I don't know if it was that they underrated Morocco or what. Recall that after Belgium suffered that defeat, even on the street of Brussels, their capital, there were riots.
There were riots, yes.
Because it was nothing
and it is also the defeat that divided teams.
Of course.
The whole house was
exactly. And fallout of that defeat yesterday, the coach also resigned from his position. So this is completely a disastrous moment for Belgian football, in spite of all this array of stars. Not this the one World Cup you have thought that there'll be some progression, having seen their performance in 2014 and 2018.
Semi-final.
Exactly. Then this time around, completely. Belgium have been nowhere to be found. And for this crop of players, I don't think they'll have any better opportunity again to make a serious impact.
You're absolutely right. Belgium, I think, in their history, they will never forget Morocco in the history of in their history of the game, because the offset, the damage the Morocco has done to the Belgian national team cannot be quantified. Because first, anything that happened to Belgium at this World Cup, Morocco accounted for, because nobody didn't support, they didn't expect it. After that division, just like say there was a riot in Belgium, the capital of the country, and then the whole team divided against itself. And if you look at that, just like say Belgium team, if there's any team at this World Cup that one would have expected just to progress smoothly and getting to the final result, you will pick up the Belgium first. Reason being that it is almost the same score that we were at the Russia World Cup 2018. Almost the same coach, apart from the Henry, who was assistant coach, then who pulled out of this. It is still the same coach, still the technical. So every big body builder would do what they did in Russia. There should have been a progression, a step forward, but rather that it was almost a 7 step backward. And I think no Belgian fans will definitely not forget the Belgium. But just when we were talking yesterday, I was saying that there's no how Belgium is going to find it easier than the Croatia.
Very well. First, Croatia just needed a draw, and they played their game very well.
And for Belgium already, there's no unity. There's no unity, there's no cohesion. There's no how you can fight together when you are against each other in the team. And you clearly see what happened yesterday.
And in fact, it even goes to show how that defeat affected them. Unlike teams like maybe a team like Argentina, who fell to Saudi Arabia, but were able to pull themselves back together, got their game going and qualified. But for Belgium, that defeat completely demoralized them, separated the team, like you said, and everything just went from bad to worse for Belgium.
I think what is actually missing in Belgium is leadership. Because unlike Argentina, that's why they defeat. Nobody blame anybody for the defeat.
Exactly.
And they were able to put themselves out. They said, no, we can't afford to give up to put up. But in the case of Belgium, you don't have that. It will become blame upon blame. You are blaming, you find to fight for them. And before all the kids start within Kevin De Vrij, Hajas, and the rest begin to fight each other with it. And these are the players that are supposed to galvanize the whole team together and provide the leadership. But unfortunately, those leadership begin to fight themselves, and there's no how you can fight when you are dividing against yourself.
Completely. Of course, and in the other match that was played much later, Spain against Japan, Germany, Costa Rica. I mean, for Germany, a sad one. I mean, second consecutive World Cup, they will be knocked out in the first round. For Germany, they did all they could have done. I mean, all they needed to do was win their match. But nobody expected a Japanese side who is pulling surprises. So that's to say, in that group, Japan has been able to beat two tough teams, Germany and Spain. Nobody expected Japan. Like we said, when you look at that on paper, clearly everyone would have said Spain, Germany easily.
Spain, Germany.
Completely.
You don't even need to think.
Exactly. But Japan, I mean, came up, defeated Germany just in the last game when you thought, even though Spain was still dicey here, because up to yesterday's match, Spain hasn't fully qualified, even though because they had a draw and 1-1. So, but nobody knew that Japan was going to spring up a surprise, and that victory completely, there was no chance for Germany at all. Even they have defeated Costa Rica 20-0.
You know, there's always this is that the opportunity come but once. When you have opportunities, make the use of that opportunity at that moment that is in your hand. Spain has an opportunity in their first one against Costa Rica to score as many goals as goal. And that many goals really helped them yesterday.
Well.
If not for that 7 goal against Costa Rica, there is no how Spain would have qualified.
Exactly.
And that is why it's more important that when you as a team you are playing, you have an opportunity to score goal. Scoring goal, you shouldn't be satisfied. I don't know, we are already winning. There's no need to score goal. If the Spain have realized which is 2 goals, 3 goals, we are okay, we are through, we have already getting the 3 points, they would have been out of that competition. But because they were able to fire it from all cylinders, scoring 7 goals, and that I think that is the match the Spain has played so far. The second match against the Germany, they struggled to even hold the German side, they draw. And the same thing, just like happened to the German, just like we analyzed the team Belgium, German defeat was due to their Japan.
Yeah.
Accounted for their defeat for their exit from the World Cup. Losing their opening match to Japan was the whole situation. And for Japan was able to prove that their victory against them was not just
a fluke.
And the proof yesterday, beating another former world champion, Spain,
Yeah.
who everybody thought after their first match was going to be a surprise team. But the surprise team in this World Cup so far is the Japan.
Completely Japan, yeah.
And Costa Rica also give kudos to Costa Rica. Yes, they are out, but I think they have their head high going out of that competition because they still scored 2 goals.
Yeah, they still scored 2 goals. Yeah,
because the German who has becoming a conqueror for everything, they beat Japan.
Yeah,
they beat Japan, who has beat Germany and beat Spain. So I think if Costa Rica take analysis of all this, they'll definitely give themselves thumbs up that yes, we are not just we didn't perform badly at the World Cup.
Exactly. I mean, and interesting, but it was so sad to see Germany being knocked out. I mean, these are the teams that you want to see going further in the World Cup. But like they say, this is the World Cup. It's no respecter of persons. Once you come into the World Cup, you have to. Every game is very important. So you don't come and underrate any side because, like you said, I remember when these draws were being made, watching the draws on TV, you see some top teams when they are being drawn and they look at the draw, you see them whispering to smiling and this is easy group, but now this is the World Cup and they've seen that look, and I think this World Cup will make a lot of big teams to start to wake up. The likes of Belgium, the likes of Germany. Next time around, when they have this kind of opponent from the first match, they'll know that look, from your first match, you have to go all out blazing without underrating anybody.
And just like Muller stated, the former German players, you must say, this is a disaster.
Of course, completely.
For Germany to get out of the competition in the first one.
Yeah.
And I think Germany needs to find certain things about what is happening in the national team. Because after they win the World Cup 2014, if you look at the German team after the World Cup, their record after the World Cup 2014 has not been too pleasant.
Yeah. Looks like they've been declining.
They've been declining. Russia 2014, they exit. Even the Euro 2020, they're not fasting. Even Europe 2016, the Germany was not too fantastic. So they need to look at something. What happened after the World Cup? Maybe they over celebrated the World Cup. Winning the World Cup after they are winning the World Cup in 2014 or something like that. The football, everything about Germany has begun to decline. Despite they have one of the beautiful, one of the best players on the continent.
All right. So since Wale Ayedni, our colleague who right now is in Qatar, has joined us. Wale, can you tell me on how you do?
Yeah, Alpha. Good evening, good afternoon, but it's evening right here in Qatar, and I am heading to the stadium right now to actually watch the game between the Black Stars of Ghana and also Uruguay. The match has started. I'm just trying to sort out my ticket. That's why I actually, joined late in the show at this point in time. But I spoke to some couple of, Ghanaian fans and also Uruguay fans, and the Ghana fans are like, we're going for a revenge mission this time around. Suarez will not be there to save them. That's what they actually say. But Suarez, luckily, he will be expected to play in this particular fixtures. He's a cracker. Both teams actually need this particular game to actually fancy the chances of them qualifying to the round of 16 at this point in time. And also, looking at ticketing has been an issue right here in Qatar because so many people are actually looking for a match day ticket to actually get into the stadium to watch games, but it has been very, very difficult because when I spoke to one of the officials who do not want to actually speak to me on camera, he said all the tickets at this time are sold out. So it has been an issue for you. So many fans want to watch the game, but they cannot actually watch the game due to the fact that there is no match ticket. We know that 8 stadium was actually built for this particular World Cup, but as it is, match ticket has been the issues for football fans who have traveled all around the whole world, to come and watch the game. But just still saying about the games, the Ghana will need the services of the Ayu brothers, also Mohamed Kudus, who actually delivered 2 goals for them against the South Koreans. For him, for both players to come to party at this point in time. The whole of Africa, both the likes of Senegal, Cameroon, Morocco, those fans who have actually spoke to, they're actually rooting for the Black Stars of Ghana. Hopefully, the 4 times African champions, which is Ghana, hopefully they will need a victory in this particular match to actually go through into the second round of the World Cup. Hopefully, I'm also rooting for Ghana to take this one, because we see the likes of the European team they have not been playing well in the competition. They lost against Portugal, they drew against South Korea. While the likes of Ghana, they actually lost their first match to Portugal and actually won their second match against South Korea. So it's going to be a cracker. Both teams we want to win this game, but I see the likes of Ghana wanting it more because they have young players. We know that the Uruguay have experienced players, but this is the World Cup. 90 minutes will determine who we actually go through. We saw the likes of Germany crashing out yesterday, just to say that World Cup is no respecter of any big team. So I'm hoping that the Black Stars of Ghana come to the party this evening and get to win the day, so that we can hope that we have 3 African countries, going into the next round. Alpha.
All right, we'll go on a break. We'll come back and still talk some more. But at this point, we'll go on a quick break, and when we come back, the Sport Orbit continues. Don't go nowhere.
For sponsorship and advert placements, please contact 080-3688-6158. Last Word Leadership Podcast Studio. You have the last word.
Sports Orbit. We make the world go round.
All right, welcome back from that break. It's still Sports Orbit. Of course, for the matches already underway, Ghana, Uruguay, South Korea, Portugal. In this group, the only team who are already sure of who have qualified already so far is Portugal, while for South Korea, Uruguay, and Ghana, all these 3 teams still have a chance of making it to the next round. But for Ghana, I think their chances are high. They'll need to, at least a draw should be able to take them through, if I'm correct.
Yeah, a draw will definitely take Ghana through.
Yeah.
Because if the other match between Portugal and South Korea, Portugal is already leading by 1-0.
Yeah.
And if it ended like this, and between Ghana and Uruguay, it's still goalless. So if it ended like this, that will really give Ghana a grand chance to progress to the next round.
Yeah.
And the current impressions, Suarez is actually on the pitch. He's the captain of the side, leading the Uruguays out there. It's really facing the Ghanaians, who the Ghanaian feel that have a score to central with.
Yeah.
If you remember what happened at the 2010 World Cup, the Luis Suarez handball, which ultimately denied Ghana to have be the first Africa team to qualify to reach the semi-final of the World Cup. And a lot of things have been seen about this thing. And they've seen the Ghanaians coming face to face with Suarez on the pitch, and not even just on the pitch, being the captain of the side of the team, leading against the Ghana is going to be an interesting. I hope the Ghanaians will definitely, in as much as we have advised and we have urged that not to think about the revenge. All you need to do just play a normal game.
Because for Uruguay, it's a must win for Uruguay.
It's a must win for Uruguay, so they will be ready to throw anything at you.
Yeah, exactly.
And you should also know that the Uruguayans are also use of this kind of tricky game.
Well, those are how South Americans are fond of that.
Fond of tricky games. So the Ghanaians have to be very, very careful. They can provoke you to commit to make you commit all sorts of blunders.
Especially when a man like Suarez on the pitch is he's experienced.
And if you remember after they made what he did at the South Africa, there's another incident in Brazil.
He's fond of doing those kind of
where he
things.
had to buy somebody.
Exactly.
So and being a leader of the team today, so Ghanaians will be expecting a whole lot of things.
Well.
They need to calm their nerves, calm their tempers, and not to fall a beating into antics of the Uruguayans.
Yeah, so Wale, Ghana Uruguay is already underway. I mean,
still 0-0 at this stage.
Yeah, I mean 0-0 as it stands. But do you think Ghana will be able to withstand, the pressure, the firepower of the Uruguayans for all of 90 minutes? All right. Looks like we lost. Well, but when we get back to him, but Salifu, looking at this game, like you said, Portugal already one goal up. So for Portugal, I think they are doing the Uruguayans a big favor. So right now, the Uruguayans have their destiny in their own hands.
Yes.
Because if South Korea would have drawn this match, it would have been a bit difficult. But Portugal are already winning. So for Uruguay, is to go all out. And for Ghana, is to ensure that we keep the scoreline, ensure that the scoreline is kept at a draw. But for African teams, a lot of times, when you need an African team to just maintain a draw, especially coming against this kind of opposition, it becomes sometimes the panic begins to set in. They begin to play under pressure, and mistakes are made.
But I think just like we say, the Ghanaian need to be very maintained, calm and out. And if you look at the statistics so far, the score, everything look to favor Ghana. The Ghanaians are holding the possessions of the games, holding 62% to 38%, 62% to 38% to Uruguay. So Ghana has sort of have to shot off on target. So if you look at the Uruguays are sitting back home to hold the ball. But if you look at it, I think I appreciate the way the Ghanaians are playing at the moment. But this match, if there's anybody to look for a draw, is the Ghanaian. But the Ghanaians are not sitting back to look for the draw. But they are attacking. Most people always say attack is the best form of defense, and it's good that they are attacking, taking the game to the Uruguay. In as much as they are taking the game, they've got the Uruguays are just sitting. Uruguays are just sitting home to curtail them.
Trying to curtail them,
assess the game, and get them on the counter attack. So the Ghanaian has to be very, very careful. As far as they move out to attack, they should know that their defense line within the defense line is very, very tight.
Yeah, while looking at this game, Ghana Uruguay, for me, this game will boil down to the team with the most tactical discipline, and trust South Americans when it comes to tactical discipline. They are up there. So just like Salifu said, Ghanaians are making all the inroads into their half, but they have to be really careful, because with South Americans, you can just never be too. You can't be too carefree, because when it comes to free-flowing football, they are masters of it.
Okay, Alpha, at this point in time, Ghana just missed the penalty. The captain, talking about you, who was the one that actually missed that particular penalty. We thought that penalty was going to the back of the net, but he actually missed it at this point in time. The goal line is still 0-0 right here. As you can see, I don't know if I can just show the stadium a little bit, but you can see that fans right here actually rooting for the Uruguay. While I have some Ghanaian fans at this point in time around here, but Ghana must need to actually score for them to progress to the round of 16. That means actually has actually brought the morale of the Ghanaians down. But I hope they will actually get to build on it to ensure that they get the leadership point in this game. As it's looking at the Uruguay actually doing the high price the half of the Ghanaians, but the Ghanaians are trying to defend well and to ensure that they don't get to concede in this kind of goal, because this kind of game is a big game. When you concede like that, it brings down your confidence, and that is what the Ghanaian team must actually need for them to progress into the round of 16. Well, at this point in time, it's 25 minutes gone in this particular game, and the Ghanaians are the one asking most of the questions right here in Alpha.
All right, we'll keep looking at this match as it unfolds. But next, another match, two matches will be coming up much later in the evening, and that will be Brazil up against another African representative, Cameroon, while Serbia will be up against Switzerland. Well, in that group, so far, Brazil, home and dry, with all 6 points, coming up against a Cameroonian side. I'm sure the Brazilians, even though we've heard that Brazil want to rest some of their regular starters, but I mean, for the Brazilian team, even the players on the bench are as good enough as almost their first 11. That's the difference between them and the French side, where they have a good solid 11. But for Brazil, I mean, they have two of the best keepers in the world in every position. You have like two of almost like the best players in every position. So they will be resting a lot of those players. These other ones, even at that, do Cameroon stand a chance of making it to the final, to the last 16 against the Brazilians?
Yeah, before I just comment on about Brazil, so I just want to tell something about this current group. As it is now, Uruguay have scored a goal.
Okay, Uruguay
have scored a goal, and Ghana has, just like we were saying earlier, that Ghana needs to be very, very careful. And Ghana has a penalty which was being thrown away by Andrayu. And Ghana has a penalty in the 21st minute. But unfortunately, Andrayu missed that penalty. I don't know what is either Ghana his genes
against Uruguay.
Scoring a penalty against Uruguay. Asamoah Gyan did the same thing where they needed a very crucial penalty. Asamoah Gyan missed that penalty in 2020. And now here again, Andrayu has a penalty, a captain of the side. I don't know. Sometimes it must not, because a captain or a leader of the team. You can't take the pressure to allow another player to see that penalty. It's a very crucial penalty, and then you miss it. Now here we go again. Uruguay has taken the lead. Now Uruguay has a 4 points. Ghana is just within their 3 points. If when you know that a draw would have favored, I think I pray Ghana will be able to come back from this game.
And I just said it. I said when it comes to African teams trying to play for a draw, it becomes very difficult. So sometimes it's better just go into the game knowing that you're going for a win. But when you tell an African team, try and play a draw, it becomes, you see how Croatia played with Belgium. All they knew they needed a draw, and they contained the Belgians very well and ensured that match ended not even 1-1, 0-0.
And another thing that's always good for Africa against Africa teams that and it's like those Europeans and South America have understand the trick of Africa team. When they want to play and they know that you are desperate for results, they allow you to play your game in the first early, and then you get carried away, and that's what has happened.
Like that's what I was saying.
Ghana was pressing, Uruguay was sitting back to contain them, and Ghana get carried away by that. Now they have got them happy. Now Uruguay is leading 1-0, and we hope they'll be able to come back to balance this goal. But we can't afford to see Ghana. We would like to see Ghana joining the like of Senegal and Morocco in the round of 16. Now here we are again. We have to be careful. And for Uruguay to have taken the lead now, for Uruguay to surrender that lead, it will be very, very difficult. But we pray the coach Adu will be able to do a magic, do another statistical maneuver to ensure that the Ghana bounce back into this game and get the draw. Then talk about the Brazil's Cameroon. Ultimately, I'm one of those. I'm not a prophet of doom. I see that Cameroon have played their last one. I've played most of their last match in this tournament. I don't see Cameroon standing any chance against the Brazil team. And just like you see, Brazil has a complete squad of every department, everything. And even think if it is Brazil have 16 players in the team, 26 players at this tournament, and all the 26 players are best in their various positions. They can play at any team in the world, any player in any team in the world. And at the same time, Brazil, their second squad is almost the same as the first one. If it even produce another third, the third team is also as good as any other as the first one. But it can still happen, just like it happened to France. We also hope that France has the best everything, but their second team were not able to live up to the expectation against Tunisia. But I don't think Cameroon survived in as much as the Brazil are already done, qualified for the round of 16, and there's nothing more at stake in this game. But just like we can see that even Portugal not as much, but they are still fighting for they are still keeping. We want to maintain their clean sheet.
So Wale, quickly before we go, what's the atmosphere like Uruguay leading Ghana, and your take on Cameroon Brazil before we leave the studio?
Of course, it has been an electrifying, stadium right here since that goal actually went in favor of Uruguay. As you can see, I'm sitting like close to the fans of where Uruguay are actually sitting down. Where I'm sitting right now is where the other fans get to sit. We can see some Ghanaian fans are behind me. At this point in time, there are celebrations a lot for the Uruguayan fans. But Ghana must have to play as a team. They must have to put in, all they have got in this particular match. No doubt about it. This particular match is winnable for them if they can able, to hold their own. No, but looking at the matchup, other matches, the likes of, Portugal, we expect Portugal to go all the way to defeat, Korea. They are also looking at the Cameroon and Brazil game. There's no doubt about it. It's going to be a cracker. Uruguay has just scored again. Now it is 2-0. Uruguay is actually leading the Ghanaians at this point in time. Can we say this is a game over? You can say behind me. Our fans are all happy for the Uruguay to get to score 2 goals against the Black Stars of Ghana. Could it be the end of the Black Stars of Ghana campaign at the World Cup? The wait and see. This is just the first half. Anything can still happen. Ghana can still come back in this particular game. I think if they put their mind to it, they can still make it. But for now, having gone 30 minutes into this game, the Black Stars of Ghana are losing by a 2 goals to nothing.
Well, thank you for that update, Wale Kalifu. I mean, like you said, now it's 2-0. Just like a few minutes ago, you were talking of how the Ghanaians started brightly, and I mentioned that they have to be very careful because when it comes to this kind of games, the South Americans, you can't play them at their game. When it comes to ball possession, attacking football, the South Americans have it. And I knew that the Uruguayans were just waiting to soak the pressure, size them up, and hit them. And within how many minutes, it's 2-0 up.
Well, it is not yet over. It's over in the game of football. Even though you are down by 5 goals, you still have a hope. It's still first half. Yeah. So let's hope that in the second half, maybe Ghana will be able to come back with some magic. But for them to cancel this 2 goals, it will be very, very an uphill task. In the other match, between South Korea has equalized. It is now 1-1. Portugal 1, South Korea 1. Yeah. But I feel that Ghana will be able to do some magic, but it is really unfortunate that we need to speak in this same story, try this same food often and often, saying the same thing often and often. We have come of age in the game of football to be able to match with our counterpart from any side of the continent around the globe. But unfortunately, Africa will always see ourselves as an underdog, begin to try to play second fiddle to any other team often the time. There's nothing special about Uruguay that Ghana can always stand them. But unfortunately, Africa teams will always see us get carried away by little opportunities. And if there's any team to be under pressure in this guy, the pressure should be Uruguay, not to Ghana. But Ghana has everything going for them. But unfortunately, now the tide has been turned against Ghana.
Anyway, that's much we can give you on today's edition of Sports Orbit. Final group games today on Monday will come back, give you a complete review, and by then, some teams would have booked a place already in the quarterfinals because quarterfinals will start on Sunday, brother. Saturday. Tomorrow.
The round of 16.
Round of 16, brother. Okay, so we'll give you an update of all of those matches.
The final group game,
exactly, of group stage. So Wale will join you again on Monday, hopefully with more coverage and more analysis of the Qatar World Cup.
And we hope by then we might be able to stabilize well and be able to supply all the necessary information we needed.
All right, that's that. We are Salifu. Thank you for being in the studio with me once again on this edition of the show.
Thank you.
All right, we'll come your way again on Monday. Do stay safe out there. Have a lovely weekend, and it's bye for now.
Thank you for watching. For sponsorship and advert placements, please contact 080-3688-6158. Last Word Leadership Podcast Studio. You have the last word.